Hello, everyone. Um, I've been promising to make you a video on a full body CARS tutorial, and I'm here on a weekend retreat out in the middle of nowhere in Mexico, and the day is long and slow and wide open. So I figured I'd take this opportunity to record what I've been talking about recording for months and months and months. So welcome. My name is Anna. I am a mobility FRC instructor as well as a neuro coach. And this is basically just a little kind of full body joint mobility warm up. There are many ways to move all of the joints in your body. This will not cover all the options, but it's a good place to start if you're just getting in the habit of learning to use all your joints. And this video is not really going to go into special modifications so much. So if you have a particular injury, I cannot say if this is the right video for you. So when we get to, say, for instance, the low back portion, if you have low back issues, you're welcome to try what I'm showing here, but I cannot say if it is the right or wrong thing for you because it's a recording and I have no idea what's going on with your body. So listen to yourself as you're going through this. Nothing should cause pain. If it does, pain is an output of your brain saying that it does not consider this activity or this movement to be safe. It doesn't necessarily mean the activity is wrong or bad, but it is a call to action from your brain saying, I don't like this. So listen to your body. If you get pain with any movement, first make it slower. If you still have pain, make it smaller. If you still have pain, it's not the right movement for you. Okay. So I like to start with the feet and move up the body for my CARS. So this seems simple, but it is often difficult for people. So first, you're just going to have your feet out in front of you. You can do this sitting in a chair. It's pretty sparse where I'm at right now, so I don't have a chair to demonstrate this, just the floor. So all you're going to do is try to lift your big toe up and down. And if you have a practice of moving your feet, this may come easily, but for a lot of people, it feels like their toes are asleep at the wheel. So go ahead and just try to lift your toes up, the big toes. Then you're going to try the little guys. So the big toe stays down and the little ones lift up. You don't have to look at your feet to accomplish this, or you shouldn't have to, but if it helps you, feel free to. So you're going to lift little guys up on their own and then alternate between big guys, little guys, big guys, little guys. As best as you can, keep the rest of your foot flat so your ankle is not wobbling right to left. It's just the toes doing toe things. And if you find that your big toe or your little toes don't move, I would just work at this, practice. Sometimes it takes a little while for your brain's motor maps to get online and understand what you're trying to do if it's a new skill. After you've done your toes, we're going to go on to your foot and your ankle. So sitting in a chair, or if you're on the floor like me, you're going to hook your arm under your knee, lift your foot off the ground, and hold on to your shin. You could also do this lying down. Everything I'm showing here is just an option, modify for your own body. So holding onto your shin, and the purpose of this is to keep the knee and the shin from moving. And you're going to take your foot through a big circle, like a big ankle circle. Try to articulate your foot fully. So if you had a marker on the end of your big toe, it is going as in the biggest circle it could draw. And then go in the other direction. Then we're going to do what's called a foot wave. So from your foot being pointed, your toes are going to start to curl back, and then the rest of the foot curls back. Then the toes are going to start to crimp, and the rest of the foot's going to go into a point. So it's called a foot wave. It may not look like a wave for your foot if your feet are pretty stiff, but as best as you can, go like this with your foot. and then reverse the movement. So from a flexed position, you'll start with the heel pushing and then the rest of the foot follows through and then it pulls back. Might get a lot of pops and crunches, that's fine. Okay, and then from there, grab the other leg, hold on to the shin so the shin doesn't move. Big ankle circles, articulating as well as you can through the joint. If you find that in the circle, there's an area that's kind of glitchy or stiff, it doesn't really move as well, it's not smooth, that's a good indication that the motor map is not clear in that area. And go through that area slower. So almost like you're carving through the space, trying to make it more smooth and clear. Go in both directions. And then you'll do the foot wave. So going from a point, pulling a foot back, taking it forward. Okay, then we're going to go into your knees. So a lot of people don't realize this, but the primary movement of your knees is rotation, which most people don't even know their knees rotate, but they do. So if you're sitting in a chair on the floor, you're going to keep your knees where they are, and the shins are going to rotate out and in. And I'm kind of exaggerating with my feet so you can see the direction of what they're doing. But if it helps you to grab the shin and externally rotate it so it turns out, so you can see the inner edge of the shin, and then internally rotate it so it turns in. So that's the action. It's a rotation at the knee. And if it helps to do one leg at a time, go for it. For time's sake, I'm going to do them together. I often like to take a block or my fist between the knees so they don't move and rotate at the knee. Try not to just wag your feet. You might even look down and pretend like your foot is in a cast. So the ankle can't wobble around. The movement happens at the shin bone. And then you can slide your legs out a little bit, do the same thing. These are called axial rotations of the knee. You might have one side that's a little better than the other. That gives you something to work on to improve the stiffer side. And then you can go a little bit farther. The knee will not rotate when it's fully straight, so don't go all the way straight. And then you can come back in again. One more kind of up close. So your feet are close to you. If you're doing this correctly, you'll probably feel a lot of energy in the shin muscles, like a little workout burn. Okay, so that's for the knees. And then for the hips, we're gonna do hip cars. So you'll wanna be on all fours for these. If kneeling is tender on your knees, then take a blanket so you have some support, not meant to hurt at all. So when you're doing this, you wanna keep your back out of it, so your back does not move. Most people have a really hard time separating hip movement from spine movement. So it helps maybe to do this looking in the mirror or video record yourself so you can see where you're moving and where you're not moving. So what you're going to do is take your hip through a full range of motion. So first you bring one knee into hip flexion. That's coming towards your chest. As you're doing this, try not to curl your spine like this. So pretend like you've got a glass of water on your back. It's not going to move. So you're going to bring your knee in towards your chest. Then it's going to lift up out to the side, kind of like a dog peeing on a fire hydrant. From being out to the side, keep it out there, but start to take it up towards the ceiling. Bring it into midline and down. Let me show you from a slight angle so you can see what's happening here. So the knee comes into the chest, out to the side. It stays out to the side. You start to kick up, keep kicking up, bring it into midline and lower down. you just want to watch out for your back. So usually when people bring the knee to the chest, they're flexing. When they take it out to the side, they're twisting in their belly. And when they kick up and back, they're dipping in their back. So you don't want to do any of those. You want to try to teach your hip to do its own job without your back coming along. So knee to chest, out to the side, up and back, down through center. And you can reverse the movement, kick up and back, out to the side, rotate into your chest and down. Another way to make this a little bit harder is to take the opposite hand. If I'm doing my right leg, take the left hand on the low back and go through the same movement, trying to keep your spine completely still. Okay, then do the other side. So you'll have your spine really nice and stable, knee in towards chest, out to the side, up and back, to center and down. I usually do anywhere between 3 to 5 in each direction. Just like I said with the ankle, if there are areas that it feels kind of clunky, it's not smooth, try to go through those areas a little slower, more thoroughly, and see if you can clear up the circle so it's really nice and smooth. Again, you can experiment with taking your opposite hand onto your back or onto your chest. Okay, so those are called hip cars. Then we're going to do your spinal cars. So this is like a cat-cow if you've ever done yoga, except it goes in a wave. So it's kind of like this. It's not just up, down, up, down. So I would start in cat pose. So your butt's tucked under, your head's tucked under. Leave your head tucked under and start to tip your tailbone upward towards the ceiling. When that can't go any higher, then your ribs start to move forward. Head is the last thing to come up. And then leave your head up, start to tuck your tailbone, and roll the wave from the bottom of your spine up to the top. Tipping tailbone first, move the movement from the bottom of your spine to the top of your spine. You can also do this movement from the top down. So from cat position, head comes forward, then heart starts to move forward, mid back, low back, tail is last. And then head tucks under, heart curls in, roll it down. I would go slowly on these because often there are some segments in the spine that are working as one chunk, and you want to articulate through the spine one at a time, one vertebrae at a time. Okay, so that is your flexion cat-cow, so to speak. Then we're going to do a lateral glide with your spine. So for this, you can come up to standing. I'm going to stay sitting because the camera here is just, it's like balancing on this little setup, and I really don't want to disturb that. So if you're comfortable to sit like this, great. But if you're not, you can stay sitting in a chair or you can come up to standing. You're going to have one hand on the side of your pelvis, the other arm out to a T, and you're going to glide laterally. So this is a movement for your spine. Try not to lift your hips up side to side. Hips stay grounded and still. and your spine moves out laterally. And then try the other side. If you feel like this is not happening for you, like it's hard to move or it feels sticky, sometimes I like to take the fingers on the low back. So you're feeling the actual vertebrae that are going to be moving. And then as you're gliding, you can feel that area laterally sliding. And if one side is a little bit stiffer, then I would give that extra time. Okay, so those are lateral glides of your spine. And the last thing we're going to do for your full spine are called global spinal cars. So again, you can stay sitting in a chair. I wouldn't do these standing. They are done standing sometimes, but for a beginner, it's not the best position because there's lots of compensation patterns that will come in to the standing version. If you have the range of motion to sit with your legs wide, you could do that. You could sit with your legs cross-legged. If you feel just generally stiff, I would sit in a proper chair, just towards the edge of the chair. That way you can really get maximum movement of your spine without your legs being the factor that holds you back. So for this one, we'll be doing flexion of the spine, rotation, lateral bend, extension, and coming through the other side. So I'm going to show you from this angle, and then I'll turn sideways so you can see what's happening there. What you're going to do is cross your arms over your chest. If you're sitting on a blanket like I am and your legs are wide, you don't want your spine to be in this position for starting. You want to be able to sit up straight. So if you're not able to do that, sit on a block or roll up your towel so that you've got a little bit of a lift. You don't want to start in a compromised position. So sit up tall wherever you are. You're going to curl from your chin all the way down, rolling into a little ball. From the ball shape, take a breath, and you're going to twist your spine and your chest over to the right or to left. It doesn't matter. You're going to do both sides. So rotate. You're still in this hunched position, but also twisted. Then that shoulder, if I'm twisting to my right shoulder is going to start to tilt over. So it's kind of heavy on the right. Then you're going to start to lift your chest up and back, sweeping through spinal extension until the other shoulder is now heavy. You're going to twist in towards that leg and curl to center. Let me show you how it looks from the back or from the side, what's happening in the spine. So you curl your chest in, one vertebrae at a time, roll in, take a breath, twist, side bend. Here you're not hinging back, you're arching back. So heart goes up, you tilt your head back, switch around the other side, twist, curl through center. Go in both directions. At the bottom, take a breath, twist the other way. Side bend, back bend, heart up, back and around, side bending, twisting, curling to center. So the position I'm in here with the legs wide is sort of advanced or hard. So it's a little easier, I find, to be in this position where you're sitting. You can even have a block under, like Virasana. It allows you to get more spinal extension than it does when your legs are straight. So do one more round here. Curling in. Take a breath, twist, side bend, heart goes up, back, and around. Side bend, twist, curl to center. Take a breath at the bottom, twist, side bend, back bend, side bend, twist, curl to center. Awesome. So that is, those are your global spinal cars. You're doing all the different movements that a spine should be capable of doing. Then we're going to go on to your shoulders. These are called camshafts or scapular cars. You're going to take your arms out, and you want your arms to stay parallel to the floor. So they're not going up and down, they're staying parallel. You're going to take your shoulder blades up into your neck and down. So do that a few times. Just get the feeling of what it is to elevate and lower the shoulders. Then you're going to be punching the arms out and squeezing them back. Punching them out, squeezing back. This is a scapula movement. The scapula are going out and together. Scapula are those little wing shoulder blades that everybody has. Then we're going to turn it into a big circle. I'll show you from the back here. So you're going to squeeze your shoulders together, take them up, punch them out and down. Try to keep your head right, excuse me, right over your body. So you're not doing like a chicken head. These can also be done with the arms lower if your arms get tired. Okay, so those are camshafts. Then we're going to go on to shoulder cars, and this is for the shoulder joint. Lots of people have shoulder problems. So I want you to keep this movement in a range of motion that is pain-free for you. So for me, this movement is a big sweeping movement because I don't have any shoulder problems. For you, if you have a shoulder problem, it might look like this. So it really depends on your shoulder and the quality of movement that you have. If it hurts, go slower. If it still hurts, go smaller. If it still hurts, don't do this. Okay, that's the rules. We're going to be taking the shoulder through all of the different ranges. And I will say the areas that are usually the most challenging are the transition points, where you're going from one type of movement, say for instance, flexion, to internal rotation to extension. So basically doing a big sweep like that, usually it's the movement of transition. That is where there's some issues. So go through those areas slow. You might want to just watch me do this once before you try to do it. That way you see it and you know where we're headed with this. So I'm going to do this sideline. If I had a yoga block, I would have one underneath the ribs so that you don't sag in the ribs. You want to keep it sort of lifted. So I'm starting with my palm face up on the side of the leg. I'm going to sweep my pinky along the floor in front of me, taking the arm up into shoulder flexion. I'm trying to press it back as far as it goes. It's going to start to open towards the ceiling, and I'm going to turn my palm forward. Keep on turning the palm forward until the palm is backwards, pressing back, thumb is down, and the arm is way back, like I'm trying to reach for the little thing back there behind me. And then I'm going to bend my elbow, hand up the low back, and then reverse. Here I'm pressing the palm back, I'm opening, I'm flipping thumb up. The arm is still way back there. I'm going to sweep it through and down. So I'm going to add one more step on this. Palm faces open towards the ceiling. Pinky sweeps across the floor. Arm comes up by the side of the head. I'm going to bend my elbow and swipe my hand off the back of my head. The elbow is pressing away from you, from the camera. Then I'll reach back out again into shoulder flexion. Start to turn the palm forward and at the same time, reach the arm backwards, all the way back, reaching, trying to touch that wall behind me, bending the elbow, hand goes as high up the low back as it can go without having to scrub it up the back. And then reverse, press backwards, flip the thumb open, big sweep through and down. Okay, so I'm gonna do one more on this side and then we'll repeat it on the other. Palm faces open, pinky sweeps forward, shoulder flexion, hand off the back of the head, reach back out, thumb starts to turn down, reaching the arm all the way through and back, hand up the low back, reverse, all the way through and down. Okay, and then let's try the other side. And we'll do 3 of these. So palm faces open. I didn't say this on the first side, but try to keep your elbow locked
except for the movements where the hand's off the back of the head. So we're targeting the shoulder joint. That's where we're working. We're not working in the elbow so much or other areas of the body. We're trying to get joint-specific mobility of the glenohumeral joint. So turn your palm open, lift up on those underside ribs, sweep your pinky along the floor, swipe your hand off the back of your head, start to turn your palm forward and up and back, thumbs now facing down, reach way back there, hand up your low back, and reverse, press backwards, open, flip, sweep through and down. Externally rotate from the beginning. So palm faces open, pinky sweeps across the floor, shoulder flexion. Internal rotation, reaching back, shoulder extension, and reverse. One more. Okay, that's shoulder cars. Then from there, we're gonna go up into the neck. So a lot of people have a ton of neck tension. When you do this movement, we're gonna do two different movements. Actually, sorry, three. We're gonna do anterior posterior glides, lateral glides, and then big global spinal cars or neck cervical cars. So you shouldn't get any pain. If you get a pain in any of these movements, again, make it slower first. If it still hurts, make it smaller. When you're doing the neck cars, the big circles, if there's one particular area where there's like a pinch, I want you to kind of go up and over it, not through it. So remember, pinch may be your cervical spine pushing on a nerve. It may be your brain giving you a pain signal saying, this is not safe. You don't own this range of motion. Don't go there. Listen to your neck, listen to your body if it says no. Okay? So if you're sitting on a proper chair, grab the chair underneath you so your arms stay down. And if you're sitting on the floor, I guess you could sit on your arms. I've got long arms, so that just doesn't work. But basically what I want is for your arms to stay out of it so you're not using your shoulders, okay? So first thing we're gonna do, I call this chicken head. You're gonna poke your chin forward and retract it back. Let me turn sideways so you can see this. So poke your chin forward, retract back. It's an anterior and posterior cervical glide. Notice that my face is staying straight forward. I'm not looking down and up. It's poking forward, retracting back. Reach your chin forward, then make a double chin. Most of us don't need to work on the forward part because we're already constantly in that shape anyway. So I would work on the retraction back. Then we're gonna do lateral glides. And these are really hard for a lot of people. Number one, for at least most Americans, it's not a movement that is in their vocabulary, sort of, movement vocabulary. Also, due to lack of mobility and so much neck tension, holding, protection, the neck just doesn't have that range of motion. So what I like to do, what you're gonna be doing is this, like that, head going side to side. If you notice my shoulders are not coming up and down. In the beginning, I find it helpful to take your hands right outside of your ears so you can feel the warmth of your hands, but they're not touching and they're not way out far. Your chin, pretend like it's on a little shelf and it's gonna glide side to side. So it looks like this. The main thing is a lot of people in the beginning, they do top heavy. So it's like the forehead's tipping over. Try to keep your head straight. Pretend like your chin is on a shelf. And also a lot of people will turn the face. So your nose is facing straight forward and your head's gonna do a little side to side lateral glide. If you got this, it's not hard. You can make it into a circle where you're doing like the combo of the chicken head and the lateral glides. Okay, so if you're still working on that one, press pause. You might find it helpful to go look in the mirror as you're doing this. So the last one is big neck circles. And this is different than what most people do. Most people do like this for a neck circle. You see how my face is staying facing towards you? That is not what we're gonna do. Let me show you first, and then you can try it. So first, the face goes towards the chest, then your neck is gonna rotate. So it's like I'm looking out this window at the mountains out the window. Then once the neck is rotated as far as it's gonna rotate, I'm gonna start to extend. So I'm still looking out to that side, but now my head is tipping back. I'm gonna look around the ceiling until my face is facing the other direction, also still an extension. Then I'm moving into flexion, face is still turned, and then I'm going to scrape my chin down my collarbone and come back to center. So that's the way it looks. Remember, if there's a pain point, just go up and over it. Okay, so chin to chest, rotate your face, start to lift your head, tipping your ear back on that side. Look around the room till you're looking the other way, and then start to tip your head forward and come down the collarbone. Chin to chest, twist your face to, let's say, the right. Lift your head, tilt your right ear backwards over your shoulder. Look around the room till you're looking left and start to come down your chin to your left collarbone. Turn left, open, lift, rotate, down the other side. One more. Okay, so those are your neck cars. We've essentially gone, oh, we didn't do the arms. We still have two more joints to do. So we've got your elbows. We're gonna do your elbow cars. You're gonna start with your arms like this. Actually, since I'm sitting down, I'm gonna start with my arms like this. So my fingernails are facing towards the camera. I'm gonna extend my arms. Then I'm gonna turn the palms down and bend the elbows back. So flip hands, extend, flip hands, flex, flip, extend, flip, flex. This is an elbow car. CAR, by the way, stands for controlled articular rotation. I probably should have said that in the very beginning, but better late than never. So this is for your elbow joint. Okay. Now you're going to do your wrist. I find it helpful to do one at a time. Hold your wrist. And again, this is kind of like the neck where people do it poorly often. So what people usually do is like this. And you can see the back of my hand is facing you the whole time. They're actually, what they kind of do is turn a little bit. So you should feel that your forearm is not rotating. The hand, just the wrist is working. So hold your forearm kind of firmly. At first, just curl your fist back and forward, kind of like you're doing almost like a bicep curl, except it's just at the wrist. If you want to have fingers open, that's fine. It's a little harder. So your hand goes back and it folds in. That. Yep. Then we're going to do side to side. So the palm is facing me and the wrist is side bending. Then we're going to combine all of it. So dip your hand backwards, start to curl it into a side bend, curl it forward into a fold, curl it over to the other side. And then go the other way. So side bend, curl in, side bend, back bend. Good. Okay, let's try the other side. Folding a few times, get the hang of that. Side bending. And then big circle. Remember, you're holding your wrist for a reason, so the forearm does not rotate, it doesn't move. Okay, and you could also work on each finger. They are joints, so I'll add that in right now as we're here. So try just moving one finger at a time in a circle. best as you can, try not to move the other fingers and try not to hold the other ones together. So work on joint independence. Then you do middle finger, rotating in a little circle, ring finger, and pinky. Then we're going to do like a claw. So your hand is open, and you're going to start by bending the tips of the fingers and then curling it in like you're doing a cat paw, and then making a fist, and then you're going to undo the fist the exact same way. I'm going to get in a little closer so you can see this. So you do a little. I've had some damage to my finger joints from autoimmune and also a decade of massaging people. So my joints and my fingers get locked up a little bit. They're kind of clunky, but you're trying to make it as smooth and thorough as possible. Okay, and then do the other hand. First start with the joints making their own circle. And then do your claw. So little fingers bend first, and then claw down, and reverse your claw. Okay, so now we have essentially gone through every joint in the body: toes, ankles, knees, hips, spine, shoulders, scapula, elbows, wrist, fingers, neck. You could also throw in some jaw work, taking your jaw around in different ranges. There are joints there. I'm not including that in this video just because for a lot of people, they have messed up jaws, and I don't want anyone to make themselves in a bad way from careless mobility. So if you're going to move your jaw, be slow. It's close to your brain, so your brain's going to care about it more. So just be careful. If you liked this video, please leave a comment, give me a thumbs up, do the whole thing so the algorithm gives me love. Thanks for being here, and I hope you have a fantastic day.